bit of an amateur home brewer like most of you. I've been watching quite a few videos over the years and doing some home brewing myself. Got more and more into the home brewing scene and been following quite a few interesting people, beer lover, and quite a few of you others out there that have kind of inspired a few of us to pick up the fermenter and see what we can produce. And from that I've taken the bold step from brewing kits, I think is probably the best way to describe it, of which I'm still enjoying quite a few these days, so it's not all that bad. Yeah, and I've decided to go all grain. Now it's a decision I've deliberated over for quite a while. It's a big step, a lot more to think about as I've learned, and even doing the research and stepping into that arena is a slightly scary one to a certain extent, a little bit intimidating for us amateurs, but one I feel ready to do. So what I thought I would do would be to document and share with you guys, get some feedback along the way, and share it with the world, my first steps into all grain brewing. You'll be able to see how I get on, the successes, the failures, the tears and the joy probably. I'll try and keep you as informed as I can along the way. You know, married, 2 kids, job, a lot of beer to drink, but I'll be looking forward to sharing this journey with everyone, without meaning to sound like an episode of X Factor. So the first step, I think, with sharing with you guys will be the unboxing of my new purchase, my latest purchase, is my Speedle Braumeister. So I've taken the leap, jumped forward, and I've gone out today via Brew UK. I met with Greg at Brew UK, really helpful, great bunch of guys, fantastic outfit they've got there. Thank you, Greg. And I've managed to walk away with a 20 litre Spider Braumeister. Much controversy over the Grainfather Braumeister thing, but you know, hopefully we'll be able to look at this over the coming weeks and months, and people will be able to draw their own conclusions. I've got my own, and I'm sure that will come out along the way. Yes, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to making some all grain beers, seeing what we can do along the way. I've recently just invested in Beersmith too, as well, because a lot of what I've read seems to indicate that that's kind of helps a lot with that. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to it. So the next thing I think we'll be doing will be doing an actual unboxing. I'm not aware I've seen one before, and definitely with all the research I've done, and we'll kind of go through the unboxing, look at all the bits and pieces that are in there, and hopefully that might answer some questions for some of you that are thinking of buying one, because I know that's one of the things that have gone through my mind. So so yeah, I'll probably finish this, and yeah, we'll get on to doing some unboxing. Right everyone, well, here we are. I guess here it is. Can you see it? Yeah, there she is. So I actually finished off the beer I was drinking earlier, so we might as well just get into it, I suppose. Let's open it up and see what's inside. Let me just turn you around. I have to excuse the kitchen. This is a new place we've moved into only a few years ago, but there's big plans afoot for this, including a brewery. So you might want to keep your eyes peeled over the coming months, because hopefully, as part of the kitchen extension, we're going to be having a new brewery. So yes, we shall see. So let's just get in here and cut this up. So this has come courtesy of our friends at Speedle, and Greg at Brew UK down in Salisbury was very kind to help me out with all of this. So right, there she is. So as I'm sure a few of you can tell, this is the new Braumeister with a new controller. Interestingly, importantly, Greg pointed out that I would need this, which is the new UK plug. So you see these things are made in Germany, so they do tend to come with the European 2-pin plugs. So as much as, just looking around on there, as much as I'd love to pull this out live with you on camera, somehow I don't think I'm going to be able to pull that thing out and hold you at the same time. But I have got a confession to make. Along with this, I did buy a few other bits and pieces. So you'll notice over here there's a few other bits. So, as is recommended with a Braumeister when you buy it, is one of these bad boys. So I decided to invest in a stainless steel chiller. Actually, it's really well made, to be fair. It's a fantastic bit of kit, it looks like. Comes with these stainless steel fittings on the end. These look like sort of garden hose fittings, so I'm going to have to take a trip to the garden centre, I think, before I do a brew day and make sure I can get these to fit on. But yeah, no, looks really good. It's a little bit wobbly actually. I might have to think about trying to strengthen that up, because the sod won't stand up on its own. But yeah, so one of those, and as well, those of you that might notice, this is a 20 litre Braumeister. So you know that the sort of the bigger end of things, as it were. Depends how much beer you drink, I guess. But I want to experiment with doing more frequent brew days, but smaller volumes. So I've invested in one of these. So this is the short malt pipe. So this is a 10 litre batch size malt pipe, which if we buffer the two up might make a bit more sense, but going on size, so you know, this little thing will sit in there, which will leave quite a bit of headspace at the top. So this will mean I'll be able to experiment with my recipes a bit more, and you know, get to drink a more varied amount, rather than having to, it's such a tough life, drink you know, best part of 19 litres worth of beer before I can do anything else. And the other thing I did also get, and this is on recommendation of Greg actually, to be fair, because I'm into my my hop bomb beers, I guess is probably the best way to describe it, is this hop guard. I'm not entirely sure how this is going to work, but I'm told that the outlet that's there, and this looks like this needs a little bit of assembly actually, so we'll see when we get it out of the box. But this looks like it's like a big, I mean, it's very well made. It's a big heavy old lump, but should stop the hop pellets blocking up the outlet. Although Greg does tell me that there's an upgrade due very shortly, which is a different tap that goes on here, which apparently is less inclined to block. So keep our eyes peeled for that one. So yeah, so I've invested in one of those as well. So yes, there you go. So stainless steel chiller, hop guard, short malt pipe, Braumeister. So I guess the next thing will be to lift it out of the box. This definitely looks like a box that my kids are going to enjoy playing with. And yeah, and let's have a bit of a closer look. So here she is. So this is the new controller they've got on this. Interestingly, I was expecting these buttons to actually be like clicky buttons, but they're not. So they're kind of completely touch. Excuse the 1970s cooker. It's a whole different issue. We'll talk about that a different day. Quite a big looking screen here, which is quite good. Yes, and here's all the shiny stuff. This is the 20 litre. I don't quite know how to try and put this in perspective, but it's not too big actually. I was expecting it to kind of feel massive, but yeah, no, it's not too bad. So I've got some trusty clippers to take these bad boys off with. So let's take that off. We got another one this side to do. And interestingly, here's the European power plug Greg was telling me about, and somewhere he's given me the UK 3-pin one. So let's get rid of that. We don't need that anymore. Let's put the lid off. Shake all those bits off. Pop that down on there. And oh, I might have to lift this down on the floor to look inside. Okay, so I've taken it off of here and I've put it down here to have a bit of a closer look. So we've got a bit more cardboard packing around here, which I need, and a bit more packing around here. Obviously these things are made in Germany, so they do end up bounced around a bit. But I'll tell you the one thing is they're made out of serious bits of 304 stainless. I mean, they're stronger and thicker than any sort of cook pot. I've looked at trying to make one of these like a clone out of, if I'm honest. I mean, you can even see here where these things are sort of properly made and rolled and then welded, and then the stainless steel pickled properly. A really good weld there as well, actually. Apparently, Greg was telling me that Speedle have been manuals. Okay, we'll have a look at those in a bit, but then again, I'm a man, so we won't bother. Yeah, Greg was telling me that Speedle have been making stainless steel tubs and vats and vessels for years and years and years, and this is just kind of a bit of a natural step on for them. They've been making these things for about 10 years, so I hear. So yeah, and by the looks of it, it kind of shows in the quality of the build. I mean, the welds down and around here are pretty darn good. The rolls in the edges here, pretty good. Handles have been spot welded on really well. So yeah, impressions so far are really good. So let's undo these. I think this is going to be the clamping bar and the lifting rest bracket. Take those off, and so yeah, so this is the lifting bar that I'm sure we've all seen when they're lifting the malt pipe out to after mashing's complete, to let the little bad boy rest. So pretty good. pretty good. This looks like, this is the one thing I've always been a little bit, I don't know, confused by. So this funny like U thing you can see here is, from what I've seen and from what I've worked out, is designed to sit across here like this. And then when you lift the malt pipe out after you've finished mashing, on the little lugs that you'll see when I take this off, you're supposed to rest it on it. But what I don't understand is why, I'm sure there's a good reason, but why they haven't just taken these sort of bits here and this bit here and actually just welded them on the inside there, because you've got the two lugs on the malt pipe, which I'll show you in a sec when I lift it out. So if you welded them there and there, just by lifting and turning and resting, and then lifting, turning, resting, you wouldn't have to have this random bit of, yeah, this just kind of this random bit. So I'm sure I'll learn why they haven't done that, because, you know, after all, these are companies that have been making these things for 10 years, so I'm sure they've thought of everything. But to me it just seems a bit odd why you just have a random piece of metal. But anyway, so this is the wing nut, which I've heard mixed reports about people dropping this in there at the end of the mash, so we might have to have a think about what we might be able to do about that. This is the clamping bar. It's just a straight bit of, what's that, probably 22-25 mil stainless steel bar. But yeah, nice, still nicely made. No burrs on anything at all actually. So randomly we've got we've got a cable tie for some reason down here. So let's pop that off. And I think we should be able to, maybe it might work. Yeah, so this is the top filter by the looks of it. Interesting. So yeah, top filter, which I'm sure will become very very familiar with when we get into some brewing. Oh look, box of bits. Here we go. This looks like, so this looks like it comes inside. This is all of the tap. So this is there's literally going to be an upgrade for this, as I mentioned earlier. So, but you know, this is what we've got now. Yeah, hopefully it won't get blocked with the hot filter. And that looks like, can you get that in shot? Look, that looks like that's the knob for the lid. I've had mixed reports about that as well, about people burning their knuckles every time they take the lid off. So we'll put that together and we'll see how that looks. So further down in here is we've got our two filters. So we've got our bottom filter and top thin gauze. You can see that. Again, yeah, on gauze as well. So that's all of our filters there. And then yes, so then down here, so we've got our inside, so we've got our temperature, you see that, so temperature sensor there by the looks of it. That looks like that's the pump outlet, and here's our 20 litre malt pipe. So if I, oh, it's a little bit stuck actually, if I, that's it. So if I take this and lift this, now you know when I was talking earlier about the lugs on the side, you see those there? And then you've got the other little lug there. I'll show you what I was talking about. If I drop that back in, and then I get our funny random bit of this thing here. So the idea is, and I'm sure I'm pretty sure we'll do this again when we're actually making some beer, but so we kind of put this on, and we have to somehow, oh that's interesting, there might have to be some assembly going on here then, because these things clearly aren't long enough. So okay, I'll have to show you that another time. But if I just pull it up now to show you. Oh, there clearly must be some assembly required here, because the two lugs aren't long enough to locate. So okay, so let's just lift the malt pipe out. That didn't quite work, but you know, so yeah, so there's the malt pipe. So I might go and grab the 10 litre malt pipe in a minute and just show you the difference in the two, but that's the 20. With the seal on the bottom and the little ridge, so this is where the in that ridge in there, that's where the filters sit. So when it's around that way like that and they sit down inside, it catches on that edge and you can fill it up, and then when you lift the malt pipe out it doesn't drop everything down. And yeah, so down inside, yes, we can see inside. So we've got our pump suction over here, our element, which is quite nicely made actually, looking at it. It stretches around sort of 2.5 times all the way around. We've got our centre post with a little watermark there for the various stages, which I'm assuming the instructions will tell me, so that might actually make me have to read the instructions. Yes, so yeah, that's the inside. Super shiny. I've been told that really the only thing to use for cleaning this is water, really. You don't have to use cleaning chemicals, although I have read otherwise about using sort of caustic soda, so we'll see. Although Greg reliably tells me that water should be enough. So yes, malt pipe, Speedle Braumeister controller, inside various clamps and bits and pieces, and obviously rest and lifting bar. If I need to, when I put this together, I might shoot a little video just to show you the other bits I have to go on. This is all important because I wasn't aware of that. So here's our filters and gauzes. I'm guessing in here there must be an extra bolt or two to rest for the lugs. Ah yes, look, there they are. See those there, look? They screw on, those two things there. There must be a couple more in there. Yes, there they are, look. There's a couple more here. So those are threaded. So that's where they screw onto these little threaded bits, which are the lugs on there. Which is, I guess, is a good idea really, because it means you can take these off. Now that's interesting. So on the other malt pipe, I'm interested to see on my 10 litre malt pipe if I've got the lugs for that as well, because I might have to swap the lugs over every time I want to use them. So yes, that's pretty much it. I guess really I've got a little bit of assembly to do. Doesn't feel like too much. Let me just swap that around. So yeah, doesn't feel like got that much to do. Looks really well built. I quite like it. Quite excited about a brew day. So I bought a couple of Brew UK kits, all grain kits to start with, because I kind of came to the conclusion that starting off with a kit was probably best with this sort of stuff. I think trying to go straight in with my own made recipe could go horribly wrong, and I'd end up having to force myself to drink a lot of dodgy beer. So I'll probably talk you through next time my first brew day, which hopefully will be in a few days time. It's Friday today. The wife's out of the pub, funnily enough, drinking with a friend, so that should be quite amusing later. So yeah, it might be Sunday, I think. So hopefully we'll be able to take you through a first brew day with a Brew UK kit. We might go for a nice malty tribute ale. I think it could be quite nice. So yeah, so I hope you found this interesting. My first video, our first video together. So if you've got any questions about any of the bits you've seen, any thoughts, I've been quite impressed with what I've seen so far, then post them down below, and I'll look forward to the first brew day, and I'll see everyone soon. Cheers.